According to Robert A. Johnson, inner goal is the highest value in the human psyche. It is our soul, the self, the innermost part of our being. Everyone has inner gold. It isn't created, but it does have to be discovered. This inner goal can be equated with the inner God. When we awaken to a new possibility in our lives, we often see it first in another person. A part of us that has been hidden is about to emerge, but it doesn't go in a straight line from our unconscious to becoming conscious. It travels by way of an intermediary, a host. We project our goal onto someone, and suddenly we are consumed with that person. The first sign of this is when the other person appears to be so luminous that he or she glows in the dark. That's a sure sign that something is changing in us and we are projecting our goal onto the other person. When we observe the things we attribute to the other person, we see our own depth and meaning. Our goal goes first from us to them. Eventually it will come back to us. Projecting our inner goal offers us the best chance for an advance in consciousness. When we see that we have given our spiritual goal to someone to hold for us, there are several ways we might respond. We could go to him or her and say, "The meaning of my life has suddenly appeared in the glow in your eyes. May I tell you about it?" This is another way of saying, "I have given you my inner gold. Will you carry it for me for a while?" When you meet a good friend of yours during the morning break at work and banter with each other, speaking all kinds of nonsense, you joke and laugh and an animated play goes on. Then, when you head back to work, you feel energized and brightened for the day. It was not the coffee, it was the exchange of inner alchemical gold. The exchange of gold is a mysterious process. It is our goal, but it's too heavy for us, so we need someone else to carry it for a time. That person becomes synonymous with meaning. We follow him with an eagle eye wherever he goes. His smile can raise us to heavenly heights. His frown will hurl us to hellish depth. So great is the power of meaning. Sometimes the exchange of gold takes the form of hero worship. For a 10-year-old boy, his 12-year-old neighbor is a hero. The 10-year-old wants to imitate him. He walks like him. He wears shoes just like his. He borrows his vocabulary and hangs around him as much as he can. 2 years later, when the 10-year-old is 12, he has become the characteristics that he projected onto the 12-year-old. He is now mature enough to take back his inner gold. He assimilated them back and became them. Now he hero worships a 14-year-old and has a new ladder to climb. Now in the process of exchanging the inner gold, some precautions are necessary. When gold is being exchanged, there are two rules that can save both parties trouble. First, when you put your gold onto someone, you have no right to pester that person. To project meaning and importance onto another person is enough. You don't want to smother him. Second, don't mix the levels. Alchemical gold is an element in its own right and shouldn't be mixed with anything else. Friendship, companionship, sex, fun, work, all these relationships can be good, but it creates a mess when you express the alchemical gold through them. You may end up marrying the person who carries your gold. That's legitimate. But don't mix the goal with the many other aspects of relationship that are possible. Blessed are the pure in heart. Pure means unmixed. Almost all psychological suffering is caused by mixing levels. Everything in you is good in its own right, a construct of God, but contamination of one thing by another can short-circuit both. When you fall in love, you feel overwhelmed with excitement. You have projected your gold, your deepest inner value, onto the other person. You have given it to her to incubate for a while until you are ready to take it back. And if the feeling is mutual, she has given her goal to you. For the relationship to succeed, somewhere along the line, each of you has to take your goal back. Unfortunately, that's usually accompanied by disillusionment. You are not the knight I thought you were. and you are not a princess when you wake up in the morning. The goal comes clattering down by way of disappointment. If we could only understand that we put our goal in someone's lap for a period of time until we get stronger, and someday it will come to an end. We aren't wise in this respect, and it's one of the most painful issues in our culture. When you are stuck, when goal is being exchanged, sit quietly until the smoke clears and you see where you are. If you can talk this out with the person holding your gold, with all the dignity and intelligence you can master, it's a beautiful way of affirming what is going on. It may be risky, but it is well worth the effort.